Here is our last segment of the day, and this is from WFAE in Charlotte. It's a really interesting article, or news story, I should say, because it's a radio one. Police pull back, how arrest citations plummeted in Charlotte. This is from a few weeks ago. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Since Ferguson, the Charlotte Police Department has routinely, more and more every year, stopped making arrests for small property crimes, larceny property crimes, right? And all kinds of other small things, including marijuana. And you know what? Since 2009, crime and violence have dropped every year. That's right. What you're giving is your armed officers more time to focus on violence and not the stupid things. Arrests from 2009 to 2019 nationally fell by 21%, Charlotte by 46%, more than double, and crime kept dropping. Also, citations where they can write you a ticket for like marijuana and other small things, those have plummeted. The reality is there's less proactive policing on small issues. That here are in Chicago, the police union boss, John Conzar, loves it. We got more research coming out on him in the beginning of July. It's a target date. But they're basically ignoring petty crimes, petty quality of life stuff. They're ignoring it. Larceny stuff. They get to the scene and they catch someone stealing, shoplifting something small or something. Unless they have a really long history, they go. Yep. And crime drop in Charlotte during that time. How much do police have an effect on crime and violence? How much does broken windows work? Yep. There's evidence 12-year experiment kind of slaps that all right in the face. Now, people are going to say, well, homicides, and they did. Homicides ticked up in 2020. I will say it again and again and again and again. You cannot take 2020 numbers and compare it to anything. It's going to be a blip on most screens, at least we hope. The pandemic, jobs are getting added as there's more security around our health and economic and housing. I believe a lot of those things are just going to reset. It's interesting that even the police superintendent now, who's a longtime police officer, really in favor of the reducing the arrests, reducing the footprint of the police department, which is really encouraging. And he's also bringing in, which I think is hilarious, and I don't understand why they didn't get it before, customer service training. That's right. Wow, what a several years it's been. The police getting de-escalation and customer service training. Who would have figured that we needed to train guys and men, women, cops with guns? We needed to train them on how to de-escalate situations. Why that wasn't the first course in the academy for the last 120 years is mind-boggling, right? Well, you'd have thought the second course is customer service training. You are a service-oriented agency. Whether you want to like it or not, you do customer service. So here's the response. We're going to end on this response from the union. I know basically, if you're watching this, you can pretty much guess what the response was. If there was no connection between policing and crime, I don't know why anyone would bother funding a police department. The fact of the matter is that criminals do change their behavior based on the expectation of being stopped, ask a few questions, and possibly being arrested. That's stop and frisk, ladies and gentlemen. That's stop and frisk. It had a huge impact in New York, right? Hundreds of thousands of stops a year, and then all of a sudden the court forced them to stop almost all of them. And what happened? Man, crime shot way up. No, that's right. Wait a minute. It went down to under Chicago's homicide numbers. Wait a minute. Does that mean this police union person is full of shit? Oh yeah. I think that's what it means. Is there a relationship between crime and violence and police? To some degree, yes, but that relationship is much smaller than any police union. person or any police department leader wants to admit, except for probably the one in Charlotte. They just don't want to admit it. The fact is, when you have such a no tolerance policy for small stuff, you having such an impact on their lives that you're significantly statistically increasing that person's likelihood of being system involved for the rest of their lives. We know that with children. You slap cuffs on a kid, the likelihood statistically that they are system involved for the rest of their lives compared to a kid who did the same behavior but didn't have cuffs slapped on them is significant. But this is data and science and research, and unions, police unions don't like that. It's mostly white guys saying, I know exactly what I need to know, and that's all I need to know. And I know it because I'm white and male and straight most of the time, and I do what I do, and that's all I need to know. It's so sad. But look at Charlotte. Look at how they dropped their arrests by half, and crime kept going down. That is a massive change that should be on the national news. It certainly should be on the news in Chicago, as conversations have been rebuffed by the mayor about defunding the police. And she does these little trial things, even though we know all we need to in Eugene, and now we're getting places where it's replicated in San Diego and Denver and Rochester and New York City. And I'm missing a few that aren't coming to mind. But it's being replicated all over the country. There are tests being done all over the country. We don't need Chicago to slow walk it as slow as possible, because that's what our politicians do. They love talking reform when they're a candidate, and they love not doing it while they're in office. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Next week, we return to our Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 5:30 Central. If you got topics for the show, people you want interviewed on the show, let me know. Drop me a note at info@chicagojustice.org or hit us up on the various platforms we're on. Instagram. We're now going to be next week starting TikTok. We're on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. And am I missing any? I don't think you can hit us up on any of those. And we're going to start sharing more content from the show across all those channels starting hopefully next week. And then we have our show next week on Monday. Tuesday morning, 9 a.m., we have a report release. We're going to show you just how useless the city council is. And then we're going to have an Instagram Live. And I'll let you know on Monday about the time. We're going to have an Instagram Live with myself and the author of the report, Lauren, to talk about the report and answer your questions live. Okay, thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend.